All right, everybody, welcome to this week's makeup race, I guess you would say, for the Fairview IT Management Cup Series here at Lanes Raceway. One of our sponsors of the Four Crowns here and very respected here in the local community for all computer needs. Give Fairview IT Management a call in Owensboro or Bowling Green, Kentucky. We got all 7 of these racers here lined up, and I need to change to the World's Track because we're now on the World's Track for the remainder of the evening. Randy Kirtley on red, Guillermo on white, Glenn Burden on green, Jay Latham on orange, Bruce Bullington on blue, Gabriel on yellow, Sean on purple. Randy Kirtley's coming around here. You guys know the deal. 3 strikes, you're out. Still the same business. Still the same deal. Is everybody ready? All right, guys, watch your lights. 4 red lights are dropping out to a green. These guys are racing for laps. They're racing for points. They're racing for clout for a solid year. And their picture made with that big King's crown and the draperies that come with it and a big old staff saying, I am the King of Lanes Raceway. So we get our first incident here. A lot of issues taking place on that second to the last turn there. A very hard corner for most people. This car gets past there to Guillermo Sire. Randy Kirtley grabbing a car there. His car coming off on the very last corner there. So white and red getting strikes. They're first. 4 red lights dropping out to green. Here we go. We're going to see what I believe to be our first lap made right here on green lane by Glenn Burden. As Glenn Burden hits the button, he's going to receive a strike here. See Sean taking off in a dead sprint to look for something in his box. He grabs the car. He's going to check something out for Glenn. Or no, that's his car. Him and Glenn both have green cars. Sean's own pit crew. See rolls around there in his Mountain Dew. He's in the first corner here. You see it a little bit better from our front blue here. He's there coming around into the second corner there on the W. And a hard hit. It looks to be Guillermo Sire. Guillermo Sire going to take a strike here on white lane. That'll be his second. And see Jay Latham in the camel hump of the track going to receive a strike. His first. If you guys like what you see, like, share, and subscribe. Glenn Burden telling Guillermo to back up. Guillermo has a tendency to crowd the track, but he's good about backing up. Ooh, and a nice little bow and a back and forth there between Bruce Bullington and what looks to be Jay Latham. There's a little back and forth, back and forth. Car coming off in the camel hump. Guillermo narrowly missing that incident. Wife T there going to grab that white car there and pass it. I believe that is Randy Kirtley going to take a strike there. That'll be his second. He's going to take a look at his own car there and try to straighten it up, keep it true. These Flexi cars here, they all have to run the same Champion Turbo Flexi chassis here in the Fairview IT Cup Series, and they're all running Eagle motors with 332nd axles and 64 pitch gear ratios, and that kind of keeps them somewhat equal. They do get to select their gear ratios. That's the only thing. And these cars you can see are somewhat fast, but the chassis are an old tech for sure, and that's where you get the kind of stock car feel out of things. If we just let them run any 4-inch chassis, everybody would be running Mazzettis, Geminis, and stuff like that. As we see Bruce Bullington putting his car on there. It's going to be a strike for him, and we got a red flag condition here. The button has been pressed for Sean. As we see Sean up there right underneath the Subway logo, working on his car. Good time to mention our sponsors, Fairview IT Management and Livermore Subway, for sponsoring the Four Crowns here at Lanes Raceway, offering up $1,000 for the racers. We appreciate these guys. Glenn Burton out in the lead right now, 8 laps. Gabriel Kirtley tied with him. Jay and Sean tied at 7. Randy, Bruce, and Guillermo tied at 6. Got this race and one more for the evening, so you guys can see this is why we do the 3 strikes, because if we didn't do this, uh, it would be a very, very long time that we'd be here, probably till about midnight, most likely. I think when we first started and we didn't do any of this, the races, we would get out of here about 11:30, so it was pretty close to midnight. So they're going to reset his what? Yeah, but the thing is, are y'all hitting the button again? Yeah, so he will receive 1 strike. Yeah, what do you want me to adjust it to? 5 seconds? Okay. Deduct a lap from Glenn, huh? Well, we better let it slide this race, but we can change it to 5. As we're going to see Sean here, he's going to take a strike, and he has no more time that he can fix his car as he used both buttons up. 1 second, guys. Do not hit that button. I got to change this. It's on. What's that on right there? Can y'all read that? You want it on 5? Is that 5? Okay, I can't really see from here. Right here? Ooh, dropped some frames there. Our stream is back up now. I must have really caused some issues there messing with that computer. Uh, Bandwidth issues. Nonetheless, guys, we're back. Everything should be good now. So we can see that's going to be a strike for Bruce Bullington on blue lane. Oval's getting a little action there from Mark Stratton. Oh, we don't have the strikes up on here. That's another strike there. Hang on. We'll get the strikes up here just shortly. And that is going to be Gabriel Kirtley receiving a strike. And I can't tell what lane he's in. I think he's on green. Yeah, no, that's Glenn. Sorry. Gabriel's on yellow. All right, I got to find the strike on here. I don't know why that didn't pop up. There we go. Now you guys know the strikes. And it looks like Bruce Bullington coming off there. That'll be a third strike there for Bruce. So he's went ahead and pulled his car. One second, folks. "19 seconds left to go in the heat, and Glenn Burden's out in the lead, 15 laps, 14 for Gabriel, tied with Jay Latham. Uh, it's tied all the way down to Guillermo, folks. Bruce Bullen's in there, of course. Probably would have been in that if he didn't get his car pulled out. And that is a red flag rotation. So we clear that out. Take a look here at the track mate. Glenn Burden in the lead, 17 laps, 17 laps for Gabriel Kirtley, 16 for Jay, 15 tied Randy, Sean, Guillermo, and 6 for Bruce. Going to leave it here on the blue track. We'll be right back with you. Four red lights dropping out to green. Here we go. Fairview IT Cup action. Gabriel Kirtley was in the lead. Now in second position. Glenn Burden in the lead with 19 total laps as we get a yellow flag and a car to come off. It is Bruce Bullington going to take a strike on blue, his first. So the little glitch that took place was T. She hopped on TikTok or something to make a little TikTok, and I think it might have disconnected us from Facebook. I checked Facebook. It looked like it was live, but we might not be able to get your messages from Facebook. So if you're texting or chatting off Facebook, we're probably not going to see it here on the live stream. I'm not for sure, but it's showing under our channels that it's not connecting data. And I check on that about once every other heat or so just to make sure. But Bruce Bullington there going to receive a strike. That'll be his second. Or hang on a second. Did I put that on blue? I put two strikes on Glenn. Sorry about that. Let me just go ahead and clear that because he don't have those. That is actually Bruce on purple that's got those. There we go. I've seen Bruce's blue car. He's got a Bush Light car, and it's really, really blue. I guess it just got in my head. And I was like, oh, better put a blue mark on that. Glenn Burden on blue, though. as we see now that time it was Glenn. So Glenn will take a strike here. Four red lights dropping out to green. If you like what you see, you like slot car racing, you like the excitement of the Fairview IT Cup Series alongside the 72 pitch series, hit that like button, subscribe, and share to friends, families, and enemies as Guillermo Sire and Jay Latham get into a little tussle. And they're both going to receive strikes here. Four red lights are dropping out to green. Here we go. Jay Latham getting a strike here on white lane. Gerber Kirtley currently in the lead again there on orange lane. As we see, Glenn Burden had that incident. Now Glenn into another incident there with what I believe to be Jay Latham. That's three for Jay, though. So Jay got caught up into the mixture of mess, and that'll be two for Glenn. Jay coming off of a successful win on the Tri-Oval, now met with strife here on the Fairview IT Cup circuit here at Lanes Raceway. Four red lights dropping off to a green. Gerber Kirtley, your leader, followed by Glenn Burden, as we see Bruce Bullington, Papa Willie almost it looked like there. Bruce Bullington there on purple going to receive his third. Three. So Bruce is going to be off for the next 45 seconds. The flat track, definitely a tough track to figure out. So see Gabriel Kirtley there. He's got some pretty good rhythm there. He's pretty much figured it out pretty good. Him and Guillermo side by side there, red and orange, as both of them know the track's rhythm pretty well. A lot of these guys have yet to figure the rhythm out, but they're getting closer. It's just, it requires a lot of effort here on the flat track. You can't be as aggressive with the trigger because the cars will come out on a flat track a lot easier. And I guess that's why they run the worlds on it. You know, it takes a very specific type of mindset to be able to run this track and run it consecutively without coming off. I said that about Gabriel Kirtley, and of course he wrecks because anytime I talk about any of these racers, they wreck. I don't know why that is. Four red lights are dropping out to green. Here we go. And that's a red flag rotation for our second round robin heat. We're going to clear some of these strikes out. They've gotten a little brutal. Looking here at the track mate. See Gabriel Kirtley out in the lead. 35 total laps, 34 laps for Randy and Glenn for your top three. And 33 and 32, very close between Sean and Guillermo there. 24 laps there for Jay Latham, 12 laps for Bruce. Heading over here to the blue lane, let you watch these guys work. Special thanks to Fairview IT Management for their sponsorship and Livermore Subway. We'll be right back with you. right, 4 red lights dropping out to green. Here we go, back racing. Round robin 3 of 8. Deborah Kirtley, your leader right now at 36 total laps, followed by Glenn Burden with 35, tied with Randy Kirtley. Sean tied with Guillermo at 34, and Jay 25 laps. Bruce 13. First wreck here is going to be Glenn Burden receiving a strike. Leader Gabriel Kirtley there on white lane, turning some impressive smooth roads here. Down below him, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is Randy Kirtley on blue. They're side by side going through the Camel's Hump together and around the horseshoe to the backstretch. Randy Kirtley's just a hair faster than Gabriel Kirtley, but possibly they're just running rhythm together. So we get another incident taking place here. Two cars coming off. One of them Sean, and one of them Bruce. As Bruce takes a strike and Sean takes a strike, that'll be their first strikes. Here we go. Gabriel Kirtley coming around the horseshoe there. Randy Kirtley about 7 or 8 car lengths. Well, more than that now. Now almost a full back stretch after that button press. Difference between him and Gabriel. Randy's actually making up some pretty good time here. Guillermo Sauer coming off there, going to take a strike on green lane. Gabriel Kirtley could just be buying his time, just keeping his car under control as lap traffic's coming into play here. He's trying to catch Randy, or at least keep him in his front view here. As Randy slows down there, we're going to see a track call button, and now he's got him within probably about 10 car lengths. So see another car popping off on the third to the last corner there. Looks like two of them. Be Jay Latham and Bruce Bullington receiving strikes. This will be Bruce's second and Jay's first. One minute left to go in the heat. Bruce going to have to dial her down a little bit to be able to make it through the rest of the heat. We'll see if he can make it. Gabriel Kirtley coming around the backstretch first, second, third, now Camel Hump. As he's coming in the backside of a big pack of cars here. Big pack of cars going through 1, 2, and 3 Camel Humps. As we see Glenn Burden and Sean coming off. Glenn Burden going to receive his second, and Sean's going to receive his second. So we got 3 guys with 2 strikes right now. 50 seconds left to go in the heat. Four red lights are dropping out to green. Here we go, folks. Gabriel Kirtley coming around the backstretch with Randy Kirtley. They're side by side. Gabriel now able to get ahead of Randy just by a hair, but Randy's not letting him go. So he's driving a little bit deeper there as they're side by side. If one of them comes off, they're going to get into the other. Randy and Gabriel side by side through the Camel Hump. Second to the last corner. As they make a pass there on the inside of Bruce Bullington, coming up to catch what looks to be Guillermo Sauer. Randy Kirtley makes a dive bomb. Now Randy in the lead, passing Guillermo Sauer. Guillermo Sauer there not making it easy as Guillermo Sauer is rushing hard, and we see a car pop off. That's going to be Jay Latham not hanging with the guys. Jay Latham's going to receive his second strike. Now we got 3 with 2 strikes here. 12 seconds left to go in this heat. Can they keep their rhythm smooth enough to finish out and not come off? That is the question we want to know. Guillermo and Randy side by side as we come into the final portion of this, and Guillermo letting Randy go on by through the Camel Hump. Now back to the first, second, and third corners again. Randy's going to end it in the Camel Hump. Randy showing some impressive movements out there as he's been practicing pretty hard in the Fairview IT Cup and the 72 pitch. He's definitely a front runner to say the very least. Gabriel Kirtley, though, is going to hang on to that lead by a lap. 54 total laps, averaging 18 laps a heat. Randy there with 17.7 laps per heat, having a suffering red lane there at only 15 laps. 53 total laps for Randy. Guillermo there with 51, tied with Glenn Burden at averaging 17. Sean there with 49, 39 laps for Jay Latham, and 23 for Bruce Bullington. Everybody made it out alive that heat. Good to see. And we're going to see these guys work on their cars, and we'll be right back with you. No, we need a little upbeat. I don't care if you do Jackson's rock mix. Yeah, do Jackson's rock mix. I think we got adults in here. Come here, T. No, do the rock mix. I like Days of Thunder. Give me some loving. What's that? Oh, it is it. Crank it, T. No, that's whenever they're showing Daytona, and they're all on the campers and stuff. All right, we got about 5 seconds here. We're trying to pick music around here. And Glenn Burton says, I want Days of Thunder. So they're playing the very beginning song of Days of Thunder here. And I guess it's getting them hyped up for the Fairview IT Cup. Here we go. Back racing. Gabriel Kirtley, your leader there on red lane, followed by Randy Kirtley, 54 laps. He's not making it easy on him as we focus in here on the red lane of Gabriel Kirtley going through the first, second, third, and now Camel Hump. You can see him there in the blue and yellow car coming around first, second, third, Camel Hump. And he's coming into some lap traffic there. Next one. Sorry about that, folks. The microphone died yet again as we're going to get our first strikes here. Looks like Bruce Bullington there going to take a strike. Bruce currently on yellow lane. Your leader, Gabriel Kirtley, though, is in the camel hump. Now, third, second, the last corner. Guillermo's really trying to hit that track button there. Gabriel Kirtley almost coming into contact with Guillermo. We lower the strike board a little bit. You can see our leader, Gabriel Kirtley, there. Guillermo Sire going to receive a strike. He is currently on blue lane. That'll be his first. Gabriel coming through the front stretch here, out of the horseshoe final corner here, as he reels in Guillermo Sire. Guillermo's really trying to push that blue lane, but Gabriel's just got something extra here today as he's really trying to push these cars to the finish. And we can see him coming there running a very impressive red lane, very quick even. Coming up on Jay Latham here on that orange car. Him and Guillermo getting a nice little coast there into the horseshoe. We're going to see the Busch car of Bruce Bullington on yellow take a strike there. That'll be Bruce's second strike. Gabriel there in the third or second to the last corner there. Jay and Guillermo in the last corner on the horseshoe coming around to the front stretch. Gabriel's really trying to grab these guys, and Gabriel's coming off in the second corner. Not what he wants to see, but not too bad as wrecks go. Coming off in the second corner versus the second to the last corner is a big difference. Now that the minimum time has been selected, Gabriel Kirtley going to receive his first strike there on red. Now this does help Randy Kirtley out as we see Randy Kirtley there on purple lane coming around to the front stretch there. So now got Randy Kirtley and Gabriel Kirtley within one corner of each other. Gabriel on the third corner, camel hump, and Randy now on the camel hump. So they're literally just one corner apiece apart as we get a yellow flag, and Guillermo Sire throws his hands up in disbelief as Guillermo Sire is going to receive his second strike. Bruce Bullington pulling his car, so that will be his third strike. And he's going to take a look at his car and see if he can figure something out about it. Guillermo Sire needs to keep that car under control as he is on his second bubble here. If he comes off again, his car will be off for the remainder of the race. But Gabriel Kirtley coming in on that orange car of Sean. He's wanting to try to make some moves here. Like I said, you need to keep your eyes on Sean. He's been making some pretty impressive flat cars here. Looks like Sean's running out of gear there on the straight stretches. You'll see here Gabriel will probably make that pass, and he does so as Gabriel's able to get just a little bit more straightaway speed here on the back stretch. Now Gabriel backing off a little bit to give a little bit of room. We see a car coming off there in the second to the last corner there. And I think it may be Glenn's. I'm not positive. Can't see. It is Glenn's. Glenn's going to receive a strike here on black, his first. Gabriel Kirtley, your leader, though, if we go to the front blue here, you can see him in the first corner there, side by side with Randy Kirtley in second position. We're going to start here in this camera view here. Randy Kirtley, of course, having the inside advantage here until Gabriel comes off and slams his car into the third corner. Just a little bit too much throttle coming out of that. And he ended up getting in someone else's lane, and they sent him into the wall. Gabriel and Glenn going to receive strikes. Now, that's Glenn's second, and that'll be Gabriel's second also. So Gabriel, Glenn, and Guillermo all on the bubble with 19 seconds left to go. They got to keep these cars under control. Randy Kirtley now your leader as he comes into the camel hump of the track here, and he's very, very close to Sean. So Randy Kirtley going to try to reel Sean in. He's taking his time. He's getting a little bit more top end there than Sean on the straight stretch true. Sean is very aggressive in the corners, but he's losing so much on that straight stretch to Randy and Gabriel, making it up in the corner. So it almost equals out just a little bit, but there is a little bit of that transition taking place. As we get a heat over, we're going to clear these strikes. Everybody made it, but it was very, very close to say the least. As we head over to the track mate, we can see Randy Kirtley in the lead now, 72 laps to Gabriel 71 from that wreck. So they're still on the same lap. It's just that Gabriel's about a half a track different now. 68 laps to Guillermo in third position. Tied for fourth position is Glenn and Sean at 67. Jay at 57 laps and 30 for Bruce Bullington. Heading over here to scene 8 or the big blue track. Thank our sponsors, Fairview IT Management, Livermore Subway, for their sponsorships of the Four Crowns. And we'll be right back with you after these guys work on their cars a little bit. right, 5 seconds before we go back green race and round robin 5 of 8. Randy Kirtley now currently your leader as we see Bruce Bullington getting his car put back on there from the previous race. Here we go. Randy Kirtley now on black lane as he comes through the first, second, third, and now camel hump. He's kind of in the middle of places. Right behind him is Sean, but up in front of him is Jay and I believe Bruce. He's running a pretty impressive black lane so far. He makes a pass on Bruce. He's coming for Jay there in the camel hump. Now just past the camel hump on the back stretch. First, second, third camel hump. He's right there with Jay Latham in that orange car. He's going to try to make that pass. Jay and him both having about the same amount of top end speed, but Randy a little bit more aggressive coming out of the exit of the camel hump. As we see Randy slide a car down on its lid. Let's see Sean put that car on, and that car is Bruce Bullington. Bruce Bullington having some issues there with his car, struggling a little bit in the Fairview IT Cup Series, but he'll figure it out. I know he will. Tends to always figure it out. Randy Kirtley is going to get a braid roller. Take a look at something. Looks like there might be some braid. He starts rolling the braid there on orange lane. Looks like he's rolling out yellow too. That'll be Glenn's lane. One strike right now just for Bruce Bullington. 77 and 77 for Randy and Gabriel tied up. Randy Kirtley currently your leader on black lane. As he comes around to the final corner here side by side with Sean, Gabriel Kirtley is about a half a track down from Randy Kirtley. So he really needs Randy to wreck, or he's going to have to start making up minor amounts of track. And Randy is aggressive on that black lane at 6.413. Gabriel's making about 0.2 of a second progress until this latest wreck, now putting him back substantially. Gabriel Kirtley is almost fixing to get passed by Randy Kirtley as Randy Kirtley comes around the back stretch here on Gabriel Kirtley's heels. Randy Kirtley in the camel hump, Gabriel in the camel hump. As they come around the horseshoe together, and they got a car in between them. Randy's going to want to make that pass on that car, and I believe that car is Bruce Bullington that's in between them. Gabriel in the camel hump, Randy coming into the camel hump with Bruce Bullington, I believe. Then we get an incident, a wreck here, and actually I was wrong because Bruce Bullington's car is in his hands right now. So Bruce going to receive a strike here. That'll be his second strike. So that's Glenn Burton's car. So Glenn is in between Gabriel and Randy at the hump. Gabriel at the hump, Randy right behind it. But Randy's really pushing aggressively there. Glenn side by side with Randy. And we get a yellow flag here. Now all three of those cars in the camel hump together. See Bruce Bullington's car coming off. He's going to go trying to see if he can figure that out. That'll be his third strike there. Now Randy and Gabriel almost side by side. Randy got a really good handling car here as he's making a lot of aggressive movements before and after the camel hump. That's where he's making his time. Gabriel Kirtley's car sliding to the outside, just trying to stick with Randy as he's going to take a strike here. That'll be Gabriel's second strike. right, 4 red lights are dropping out to green. Here we go. Randy Kirtley still in the lead there as he comes around first, second, third, camel hump. Him and Gabriel still side by side with each other. You see Gabriel there with the yellow and blue car. He's not able to really keep up with Gabriel. Probably after that rider incident that he had in the previous heat, might have put a little bit of a bend into his chassis. Randy is really screaming though. As we see, actually that's Guillermo. Guillermo on purple screaming there right in front of Randy, or in front of Gabriel Kirtley. Randy's now on the backstretch as we see Jay Latham receiving a strike. Jay Latham's going to receive his first strike here this heat. Randy Kirtley coming through the front stretch there, right behind Jay. First, second, third, and he is currently in the lead right now also. Now first, second, third camel hump for Randy as he's side by side with Sean, and Sean hits the button as his car comes off. Sean's going to take his first strike there on white lane. 2 seconds left to go in round robin 5 of 8. It's been a very eventful race. As you can tell, these racers are very, very close to one another from top to about sixth position. It's all within about 20 laps, so very, very close. We're going to take these strikes and clear them out for the next heat. Roll over here to the track mate. We can see Randy Kirtley in the lead, averaging 18.2 with 91 total laps. Gabriel Kirtley there in second with 17.8 on average at 89 laps. 17.4 on average with 87 is Guillermo for your top three. 86 laps for Glenn, just 1 lap down. 84 laps for Sean, just a couple laps down from that podium. 74 for Jay and 35 for Bruce Bullington. I'll take you over here to scene 8, the main screen of the blue track. Thank Fairview IT Management for their sponsorship of the Four Crowns and Livermore Subway, 270-278-5999. We appreciate both of these sponsors for sponsoring the Four Crowns and adding a couple $1,000s to the prize pool. 2 minutes and we'll be right back with you. Watch these guys work. We'll see you soon. Oh, you'll get one. All right, 4 red lights are dropping out to green, and Sean was like, how do I get a Lanes Raceway shirt? Well, you got a race here for one, and being that Sean is a member here at Lanes Raceway, he will receive a Four Crowns shirt with his name on it here in the next coming months. So every time we have a series, the guys get a t-shirt, and It just so happens that this is the big series where they actually get them engrammed with their names. So Sean's first shirt here at Lanes Raceway is actually going to have his name on it. So that'd be pretty cool. So our first incident there in the third to the last corner involving multiple cars, I thought, but maybe just one. As it looks like Bruce Bulletin having some issues there with his NASCAR. Randy Kirtley coming completely out of his clothes here. He's burning up hot. Looks like Bruce is just going to retire that car and try to figure something out. He's having some issues with it. Hopefully he can get it back out there and turn some laps. Because in the Four Crowns, that's what it boils down to. If you want to be the king, it's all about turning laps and getting those laps turned. Now each one of these series, like this is the Fairview IT Cup Series, which I believe is our summer series, is points related, so you can be a Lord of Lanes Raceway. But to be the king, you got to turn the most laps. Randy Kirtley right now doing a real good job of that at 96 total laps there on the yellow lane as he comes around here on the front stretch side by side with what looks to be Jay Latham on purple lane. And he's just giving Jay some of that room, but he's wanting to make the pass. He's very aggressive, like I said, through the camo, and Jay lets off, and Randy's able to make that pass. Randy's very strong at before the camel hump and after the camel hump. As Gabriel Kirtley hits the button, his car's coming off before the camel hump. Gabriel Kirtley's going to receive a strike there on blue lane. T's going to pass the old car there. Like I said, Gabriel's car has not really been the same since he took that real big rider hit. Maybe he can get that figured out. Probably a bent pan, bent up or down a little bit too much. Just causing that rhythm and that feel to go off. So we get a yellow flag here. Glenn Burden's going to come off in the second corner there. Probably see a little bit better from this view. See the wife there grab the car and pass it. And Sean's going to grab it. That's going to be a strike there for Glenn. That'll be his first. Four red lights dropping out to green. We are now over halfway in the Fairview IT Management Cup Series. Coming up next is the 72 pitch series, LMP. And that's probably the one that the guys will love the most. They get to choose their chassis, choose their gear ratio, and running the 72 pitch is a little bit smoother experience. We get a little bit of a draft going on there. 3 or 4 cars in a row, all riding simultaneously side by side. Dive on down low there on that black lane, looking good. Guillermo Sire, as we get a car to the outside there. It's going to be Jay Latham in the second to the last corner. Going to receive a strike there on purple. Sean making a nice little catch there. Getting Jay Latham. Hear those little clicks in the background. That is pinball here at Lanes Raceway. We're proud of our pinball machines here. We definitely try to keep some tournaments rolling here and keep the leaderboards up to date. Last week, John let me know that one of our leaderboards was out of date. What it was is it reverted back to one of our previous updates, and of course it wasn't going to be updating then. So it is back up and running now, at least till the first of the year, which is coming up here very, very shortly. We see Jay Latham taking another strike here. That'll be Jay's second strike, so he's got to calm her down for 16 seconds or he's going to be coming off. And that looks to be Randy Kirtley. He's got the flannel off. He's warmed up. Now that second hit there is definitely going to help Gabriel Kirtley out. But Randy, he's got such a pull right now lap-wise against Gabriel from where he's had so many wrecks that Randy's going to have to wreck a few more times for that to help quite a bit. If that was towards the end, that would have definitely helped a whole lot more for Gabriel Kirtley. Made it a little bit closer for that first to second run. But it's still just down to 2 laps there. pretty much between Randy and Gabriel, about a lap and a quarter, really. So we head over here to the strikes. We clear those out, get ready for that next round robin heat. And we're going to see here that on the track mate, we got two more heats to go. 109 is Randy Kirtley, 108 Gabriel Kirtley, 106 Guillermo for your top three, 104 for Glenn, 101 for Sean, 89 for Jay, and 36 for Bruce. We're going to head back over here to scene 8. Thank our sponsors, Fairview IT Management and Livermore Subway, for their sponsorship of the Four Crowns. We appreciate you guys, and so does everybody here. Take a few moments here and watch these guys work, and we'll be right back with you. Every Sunday. I don't get out of this seat every Sunday, do I, guys? Well, we're going to be live streaming that soon. Yep. All day Sunday, yeah. From 1 o'clock till close, basically. That's how long the races take. There's 4 races. Well, you need a driver mod, Glenn? Oh. Yeah. Bruce is having some troubles. All right, here we go. Race starting in 5 seconds. Hopefully, everybody can get back to their controllers in time as we see 4 red lights dropping out to green. This is round robin 7 of 8. Randy Kirtley currently your leader by about a lap and a quarter. Randy Kirtley hammering it home there on Orange Lane, and we see Randy Kirtley coming off again. This is the kind of stuff that Gabriel Kirtley is living for right now. Randy Kirtley there going to take his first strike on Orange. And Gabriel Kirtley there praying behind him there on the horseshoe entering into the front stretch by the start finish line. This will be the difference between these two, if I'm not mistaken. So it's now getting a little bit tight under the collar for both of these racers yet again. Gabriel, of course, having some issues there riding with other people, but he's been fast all race long, and so has Randy. So we see 2 cars getting involved in an incident. And that looks to be Jay Latham and I believe Glenn Burden there in the third to last corner there. So Jay will take a strike, and Glenn is going to take a strike there on White Lane. If you guys have made it this far in the stream, I know you guys like slot car racing. There's no doubt you like slot car racing. So why don't you just go ahead and pull the trigger on that like button. Pull the trigger on that ringing that bell so that you can get involved in our live streams here every week. And then, of course, go ahead and subscribe and share to all your friends, family, and enemies to help grow here at Lanes Raceway and slot car as a hobby in general. Minute and 47 seconds left. We're 15 seconds into this heat, and we've already had some drama take place. Randy and Gabriel are now within one lap of each other solid. Randy wrecking there that last time. Gabriel's about to pull in front of him, and that will put them on the same lap there as we got hump to hump here. Back to the front stretch. Randy exiting the second corner, Gabriel coming into the second corner. The difference is literally about 8 foot before they're on the same lap. A minute 27 seconds. This is very, very close racing. Anything can happen, especially if Randy comes off one more time, and it is going to be a nail biter for sure. Jay Latham going to receive another strike there on Black Lane. That is his second strike. 4 red lights dropping out to green, and we're going to hammer home here. Gabriel Kirtley coming into the camel hump right behind Randy Kirtley, still corner to corner there with these guys. Glenn Burden going to receive a strike here. That's going to be Glenn's second also. So Glenn and Jay need to pipe that train down. With a minute and 24 seconds left to go, it is survival mode. As Glenn and Jay both right at 100 or so laps, a little over for Glenn. 4 red lights dropping out to green. Randy coming through the front stretch there, crossing the line, followed by Gabriel Kirtley. Gabriel Kirtley there going through the camel hump with Randy Kirtley on the front stretch again as they come into lap traffic here. On the high outside on White Lane is Glenn Burden. Now Gabriel and Randy tightening up even more so. Now no longer just a corner between the two as Jay Latham comes off for the third time. That corner has shrunk into about an 8 to 10 foot section there. Gabriel Kirtley coming right up on the backside of Randy. Randy is so strong through the exit and entrance of that camel hump, but Gabriel Kirtley gaining a lot of time on that back stretch as he's gaining about an extra 2 car lengths every time he goes through the stretch. And he's able to get those brakes on a lot sooner than Randy. So they're now literally side by side. I don't know if they're rhythm racing here, just trying to make it to the end, or if Gabriel's actually trying to push to catch Randy, but he is catching him. Now Randy's kind of pulling that pace back a little bit, playing for side-by-side action between in the camel hump. Randy and Gabriel Kirtley side-by-side battling it out. Gabriel's making a dive bomb down there on that straight stretch where he's strong, but Randy's fighting it back through the camel hump. Gabriel's making that long shot, and that's where he's getting the advantage is through that long shot. Randy's going to let him go. He's going to play back safe here for a second. Maybe let him get his guard down until they get into lap traffic. Then Randy's going to make his move. As they come into lap traffic there with Sean and what looks to be Glenn Burden, Gabriel's going to come through the backside, through the cross section, and he's going to get a big leap on Randy right there as the track gets shut off. We're going to see another car come off here, and that's going to be Guillermo Sire taking a strike. Guillermo currently in third position, taking his first strike here. Gabriel Kirtley bound to be sweating in his hands right now. He's got to watch that jump because he jumped last time. There he is, first, second, third. Now he's in the camel hump. Right behind him is Guillermo Sire, currently in third position. Guillermo now side by side with Gabriel Kirtley as we take a look here. Right there, Gabriel Kirtley and Guillermo Sire side by side in the third corner there. Gabriel making a push to do something in this last heat. Definitely bowling down to be a nail biter, just like all these racers do towards the end. Take a look at the track mate. Randy Kirtley, 128 out in the lead. 127 for Gabriel Kirtley. Guillermo Sire, 125 there in third position. Sean and Glenn tied with 120. They're in the mix too. They just need a couple wrecks here, folks. Jay Latham, 94, and Bruce Bullington, 36. Coming into the final heat here, thanks to Fairview IT Management out of Bowling Green and Owensboro, Kentucky, and thank you Livermore, Kentucky Subway for your sponsorships at the Four Crowns. This next heat is what it all boils down to. Keep an eye on these guys as they work on these cars. 2 minutes and 10 seconds will be coming into the final round robin heat of this Fairview IT Management Cup Series. right, 5 seconds. It all boils down to this in the Fairview IT Cup Series race, our first makeup race, as we head in to only 5 more after this. 4 crowns will be done for the whole year, folks. We'll have to start it all over again. But right now, Gabriel Kirtley is trying to make them moves, trying to catch Randy Kirtley here. So we get our first incident there. One car involved. And that's going to be Glenn Burden taking a strike on red lane. Randy Kirtley on white, Gabriel Kirtley on black. Polar opposites here currently, as they are very, very far away from one another. Randy Kirtley, all he's got to do is keep Gabriel off of his heels. As we see Gabriel Kirtley first, second, third, now camel hump as he's rolling around here. Guillermo Sire right in front of him as they go to pass Bruce Bullington. Guillermo Sire really aggressive there on that orange lane. His car pretty quick all the way around. A pretty good all-around car here, but having some issues coming off. Gabriel Kirtley is kind of running somewhat smooth here as we see another incident take place in the camel hump of the track. White lane of Randy Kirtley there. We can see almost a full lap difference. Well, a full lap minus a front stretch because Gabriel's at the first corner, Randy's at the final corner, and that is the difference between these guys. Gabriel has to make up all of that distance of a track, about 6 seconds worth of track, before 1 minute and 29 seconds is up. If he can't do it, then Randy Kirtley's going to bring it home. But if he can push it and do it without wrecking, it's going to be a nail biter for sure. So really, Gabriel Kirtley is gambling that Randy Kirtley is going to kind of slow her down and just try to milk it out. And he's going to push again this week. We'll see what happens. As we see what looks to be Glenn Burden possibly coming off here again. So give Glenn Burden there his second strike. Having some issues there. All right, looks like we got disconnected from Fairview here. We're going to load them guys back up real quick. All right, we're good to go. 1 minute and 29 seconds left in the heat. I think the track's been rolled. We're ready to go till the end. This race here, one of the quicker races for the day, as Gabriel Kirtley is definitely going to have to push as he's at 6.2, making about a tenth of a second per lap. Jay Latham hitting the button, and that's going to be Jay Latham receiving a strike on yellow. 1 minute 24 seconds left to go. And Gabriel Kirtley juicing the controller, now losing quite a substantial amount. Now giving up just a hair to Randy Kirtley there because Randy Kirtley now in the front section. Gabriel Kirtley going to take a strike here. Randy Kirtley, of course, you can see him in the first corner here. He's side by side with Jay Latham. There's Randy Kirtley there in the white car. Right behind him, of course, is Gabriel Kirtley. Now, Gabriel Kirtley and Randy have a little bit of eye judgment with one another. Randy Kirtley's not going to give Gabriel an inch. And they're going to run the rest of this race out side by side, most likely. And Randy Kirtley most likely is going to bring home the win. Unless Gabriel can somehow or another trick the eye of Randy Kirtley and make him wreck. We're going to see Jay Latham here coming off. That'll be his second strike. So he's definitely going to have to dial her back a smidgen. But coming into the second corner there is your top two, Randy and Gabriel Kirtley, side by side. And you can kind of see how they'll kind of feed off each other. Randy Kirtley kind of breaking up there a little bit as he came into lap traffic there with Bruce. Bruce going to take a strike there. His first. Randy and Gabriel both now in the first corner. You pretty much see Gabriel's car there on the inside, but you can't see Randy's car. We'll see them come into the second corner here just as soon as the flag drops. Now in the camel hump, Randy Kirtley kind of out in the lead just by a hair there as they go through the front stretch. Now in the camel hump again. Randy Kirtley, the white car, the green and blue car. Of course, Gabriel now trying to make some moves here to get a little bit of a lead there as they're side by side yet again with 46 seconds left to go. And we get Bruce Bullington to come off on the very last corner there. That'll be Bruce's second strike. So 3 guys right now currently with 2 strikes, Black with 1. Gabriel now taking a faster approach there on the inside as Randy gets caught up in some traffic there. We get a yellow flag here. That's Guillermo Sire going to receive a strike. That'll be his first strike. Guillermo doing what Gabriel's doing to Randy, wrecking. 4 red lights dropping out to a green. Here we go. Gabriel now on the camel hump, right behind Guillermo Sire. As they come around to the horseshoe final corner, we see Bruce Bullington taking his third strike there on green. 33 seconds left to go in the heat. 4 red lights dropping out to green. Here we go. Gabriel side by side with Jay Latham. Jay lets him go side by side now with Guillermo as Gabriel comes off and takes Jay out with him. So Gabriel Kirtley going to receive his second strike. Jay's going to receive his third. Second. Oh, he came off on red. That's his third. So all those guys that had 2 strikes, they're all sitting out now. 18 seconds left to go in the heat. It's Guillermo, it's Gabriel, it's Randy, and it's Sean. So your top 4 going to finish this race out. And what a race it was. A very close race back and forth between Randy and Gabriel all race long. As we take a look here at the track, Nate, Randy Kirtley, 147, 145 for Gabriel Kirtley, 144 for Guillermo, 138 for Sean, 131 for Glenn, 106 for Jay, and 44 for Bruce. Guys, coming up next, I know this is the end of Fairview IT Cup. You hate to see it go. These guys racing an impeccable race here on the blue track. We love to see it here every time these guys run nice and smooth like that and very competitive in the upper portions of the podium. But nonetheless, this week, the Fairview IT Cup has come to a close. Coming up next, though, is the L&P 72 pitch here at Lanes Raceway. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to stop the stream here, fire another one up for the 72 pitch. Hope you guys come in and tune in for that. If not, God bless you. Good night. Have a good week. And thank you guys for tuning in.